Hello guys and welcome to the Dota League season number 3, Asian Division 1. Unfortunately, the loading actually failed since one invasion player got disconnected. Somehow, everybody was ready. We were almost in the draft, but suddenly, bam, back in the lobby we are. Hopefully, he's gonna come back soon enough and actually reconnects already, so probably try number 2 coming up. We're, of course, HeflaTV, English coverage for, well, most of anything we can get our hands on. I'm Coucher, and today I'm joined by Mr. Blackadder.
Good morning. Is it morning? Yeah, I see sunlight. That's not nice. Oy, it's too early for me.
Man, it's the perfect time for Dota, man. Perfect time.
It's always the perfect time for Dota. It's also the perfect time for tea, and it's just too early.
Oh man, I'm just hoping that we can actually get this game started. We're like, what, 30 minutes after the initial start time already. We were actually waiting for Invasion's 5th player who was stuck in a traffic jam, and 30 minutes later they're like, yeah, he's still stuck there, we're just gonna get the stand-in. Oh man, just really unfortunate turn of events here.
Unfortunately, Sod's Law applies a lot of the time, and, well, traffic jams are a bastard, what can we all say? Not exactly the nicest thing in the world to deal with, but it seems we're finally loading into the game, so with any luck, touch wood, we're actually going to be able to start this one.
Yeah, we're gonna need some luck because KG at the moment having some troubles loading in. We do have a solid just backup time of 50 more seconds to wait, but holy crap, man. Somehow it's delays bring on more delays. That's how it goes.
When it rains, it pours.
Oh, well, I mean, if we ever get this game started, it's most likely going to be an epic one. I mean, we had the ability and the pleasure to actually cast Titan in 4 games yesterday, I think it was. And all of them were rather exciting, so I'm just hoping for the same here as well.
You and me both. We had some pretty epic games regarding Titan with Insidious Idols last night, and honestly, I enjoy watching Titan play. They have a interesting take on the game. I suppose that's the best way to phrase it. And they don't always go with the conventional picks and bans. I mean, sure, Insidious Idols may be a little more innovative with their style of drafting. When I say that, I mean Zeus picks, but I do like watching these teams play, and it's only because they play so aggressively. You get that I'm going to get up and in your face style of Dota, which we sometimes don't see.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, they both are, or at least used to have a rather similar playstyle, Invasion and Titan at the moment, so it is like, exactly like you said, just get up in their faces early, get the early advantage, and just, when you win your lanes, it's kind of easy to actually snowball into actually winning the game itself as well. So, like you said, hoping for some aggressive stuff. Yesterday we saw Insidious Idol playing a Tusk, even twice I believe it was, so not too sure if
Nice.
either of those two teams will go for it, but I have my fingers crossed.
The Tusk is actually a very nice one to see. The Frozen Sigil, incredibly powerful spell. Then you got just the punch. Walrus Punch is just satisfying. That's the only real way to put it. One of the most satisfying abilities to use in the game.
Yeah, it certainly is, but coming into this draft now, a Tide Hunter as well as a Death Prophet banned by Titan, like an Brewmaster taken out by Invasion, so heroes like a Razor, Faceless Void, Skyriff Mage of course, Shadow Shaman, possibly a Doombringer, all of them are still in the pool, and well, we're gonna see a Doom.
Well, Doom generally signifies we're going to be looking for more of an aggressive style. It will also be a good counter to, well, pretty much anyone, considering we all know Doom counters all, so I'm expecting Blink Dagger Doom and some aggression.
Yeah, and well, Titan didn't take all that long deciding on their picks here. I mean, Razor, Skyriff Mage. So far, no proper setup for the Skyriff, but Invasion, if they're going to go for the Faceless Void now, they're most likely going to have to ban it out in the second phase.
Yeah, I can't see them letting Faceless Void through, not off the back of that one. I mean, we mentioned Skyriff Mage Void, but you throw a Razor in that as well. You can then get the good Plasma Fields hitting at the max range. Throw on top of that just the sheer potential for Eye of the Storm push. Not something you generally want to fight up against, is it?
Yeah, it's most certainly not, and to be honest, I mean, kind of even expecting a possible Batrider ban by Invasion. Batrider Skyriff Mage, a pretty decent combination, and yesterday we actually saw quite a lot of Batrider all in all played by any team. It just seems that it's making a comeback of sorts.
Yesterday, out of the 5 games that we cast, we had 3 Bat Riders back to back.
So I mean, Batrider definitely wouldn't be a bad hero for Titan. Also a hero that can just try to target out the Doombringer before he actually activates ultimate, and lasso into Mystic Flare should possibly be enough damage for that.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree. Lasso into Mystic Flare is a very good combination of abilities, but generally, if you're going to be potentially getting through a Faceless Void here if Titan are not careful, equally if Invasion aren't careful, since both teams could use the Void here, we could be looking at potential for a Shadow Demon as well, because then you can get that Soul Catcher on target. And Soul Catcher plus Mystic Flare is a better combination in my mind, by far.
Yeah, but of course, can you get the Soul Catcher properly or fast enough to set it up like that? And of course, usually you want some solid stuns. Disruption isn't really the best setup for Mystic Flare since you can just run out of it afterwards.
I suppose that's true, but that's why you have something else with a hard lockdown. I mean, you mention the Faceless Void, Chronosphere, good lockdown. You mentioned the possibility for maybe a hard stun of some description. The Earthshaker, the Elder Titan, these heroes can set it up much easier. Elder Titan a little bit less so, but you see my point.
Enchantress.
Well, Titan, they go for an Enchantress instead at the moment. Still lacking stuns, but the early aggression will 100% be there. I mean, Enchantress just created early roaming Titan. They're so used to that hero as well. They play it pretty damn often, or at least nowadays, definitely more than other teams tend to pick it up. But Invasion, having a Shadowed Shaman already, I guess they can still go for an offlaner like a Nature Prophet themselves as well if they really want to strengthen their own push a bit.
I could certainly agree with that. Yeah, I mean, strengthening their own push is something they're going to need to do, but okay. For Titan, we've already got the Enchantress, we've got the Razor. That's a good amount of push, I suppose. But what else could you go with that? The Shadow Shaman's already picked up by Invasion. We could see the likes of push-wise, what could they pick? What can they pick? Jakiro would work, I suppose. We could see the likes of just going with a Venomancer. It's not banned out. I mean, we saw a lot of Venomancer yesterday equally. Same applies to Invasion. They can opt for a Venomancer, get the Gale going, look for the control and the slow it can bring, or they could go with maybe, I wouldn't say Chen, considering the Enchantress is already on the field, but Enigma. Enigma brings a lot of push to the table, also brings that team fight and lockdown potential.
Actually, I mean, I wouldn't mind the Venomancer for Invasion. A mid lane Venomancer up against Razor is pretty damn solid, but they go for an Ember Spirit instead, so I mean, Ember against Razor mid lane might not be the best of matchups, but I guess there's still possibilities for an Ember Spirit safe lane with Doom off lane plus anybody in the mid lane for Invasion.
For Invasion, if they put the Ember up against the Razor will actually have the easier time, but he's, from where we stand, going to be, in my mind, getting a lot more value for in time on the lane, considering the Ember will have to rotate around, maybe gank a little, and Razor will look to farm. The Ember also, sure, he can harass the Razor without having to worry about an unstable current, but the Ember has to get some good numbers of items. Yesterday we saw a case where Ember Spirit just got shut down. If that happens in this game, and Titan can manage that a second day in a row, that Ember's going to do nothing. And that's a very early Ember pickup in the draft as well. That's my big question. And the Ember is very susceptible to physical damage. Razor brings that in spades, and so does a Bristleback.
Yeah, Bristleback is a pretty nice pickup overall. I'm kind of expecting now the Enchantress to go for a Medallion of Courage. Titan did really like that, just speed up the Roshan timing, the first one of it, of course. And of course, when you have Bristleback on top of that, Vicious Nasal Goo with Medallion of Courage, really easy Roshans, and like you said, just tons of physical damage across the board for them already. So I really like what Titan have gone for that one exception of them having 0 stuns.
The 0 stuns, though, is in my mind
I
going
mean,
to be a big
Ancient
problem.
Seal is the only way they can deal with the Ember Spirit at the moment.
Then again, we did see this yesterday from Titan as well. They go really light on the lockdown. I mean, you've got slow from Skywrath Mage, slow from Enchantress, as well as slow from Bristleback. That's it right now. It's, in my mind, very concerning. Having no stuns worries me. And what could they pick up to apply some stuns here? I'm assuming this could be offlane Bristleback or a tri-lane aggressive Bristleback, with the Enchantress going to be in the enemy jungle. We've seen that lately from WTF and Ohio. But with a silencer now for Invasion, it's going to be very rough for Titan to find that good teamfight initiator. And Titan equally did ban out a Tide. They banned out an Earthshaker. So what's left in the pool that can bring a good amount of stuns? Magnus? Maybe, but that's a long shot.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess reverse polarity into Mystic Flare potentially, but then Mystic Flare would be just spread around all the targets that are in there. And all in all, Titan, they don't really have the biggest like teamfight ultimates at the moment. So the Silencer pick, how good do you actually think it's gonna work out here? Usually it's just something to try to deal with a Faceless Void, just some big ultimates, prevent them from coming out. At the moment, I guess yes, no Quill Sprays for some time from Bristleback, but how big of a deal is it actually?
The silencer, it's going to depend on what kind of silencer this is. If this is a core silencer, it's going to be doing a lot of potential damage. The global silence is going to be used more as a teamfight disruption than a case of we need to stop them casting any big ultimate. But it will mean that Warpath will run off, say, for the Bristleback. It'll also try to buy out some time for Eye of the Storm. But if this is a support silencer, I like it quite a bit more. Then you can have a Shadow Shaman and Silencer rotate and roam around the map. The Silencer will then look to get kills and just propagate into a 4-role semi-carry Nortrum. But we get a Lone Druid now for Titans, so they're going in some ways greedy, considering Bristleback, Lone Druid, and Razor. But also, if you think about this, they've got a lot of pushing power. The extra creeps of the Enchantress, plus the Lone Druid and his bear.
I mean, they have, like you said, a pretty nice amount of pushing now with that Lone Druid to be the 5th one for them. Also, Roshan even easier, Spirit Bear to tank it all up. I mean, in theory, I guess with Vicious Nasal they could attempt a Roshan level 1. It's gonna be extremely scary if they do, but it's a potential that they can go for as invasion. They go for a Venomancer as the last one now. We still don't know which one is gonna be the support, Venomancer or Silencer. But
I would assume it'll be a Venomancer core. I don't think I've seen a support Venomancer played in quite a while, at least a few weeks. Generally, every time I've seen it lately, it's been a core role Venomancer.
well, I kind of tend to agree with you there. Just really support Venomancer. Completely fallen off, I guess.
Well, we are seeing the picks start to come up here. It's most likely going to be a Mushi mid-Razor and a Ohio offlane Bristleback. But, of course, this being Titan, we've seen them run the Enchantress in the enemy jungle just to cause as much disruption as humanly possible, and that would not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing that they have to consider. Just going for the early aggression, it's definitely gonna be good, but actually, I mean, looking at the late game at the moment as well, it's not like Invasion they have that on lockdown by any means. So, whoa, some disconnects, are we...
Don't tell me it's a remake. Let me see.
Oh, sorry, but okay, their last player came or something, so yeah, we're remaking.
Yep. So we'll get into that as soon as humanly possible, and then we should be able to get the show on the road.
Oh, fun times, man, fun times.
Well, we had delays galore yesterday, didn't we? Hopefully we won't get as many today.
Oh man, the start isn't looking all that good for it.
I'm not seeing the lobby.
Oh, it's up now. Sometimes takes a small delay, but should be up. Players are joining.
Oh, I got it now.
Oh,
So,
man. Well, at least, to be honest, Invasion now, they won't have to have a stand-in. No matter how good a stand-in is, it's always going to be a little bit awkward for your team synergy and whatnot. And also sometimes the stand-in actually doesn't play the same role that the player he is standing in for does usually, so you have to swap those around and whatnot.
true, very true. It can cause problems with stand-in, and however, we're going to have the full lineup for Invasion now, so it's all going to be good. Hopefully, I mean, we seem to be missing him still, but if he shows up, we'll be going straight into the game.
Yeah, it's like, yeah guys, our last is here. Let's remake and then wait like 15 minutes in the lobby. Hell yeah! Oh god. Well, we can only hope that he will arrive within the next minute or two, otherwise we're probably gonna just run out of topics.
We can always open the kettle of worms that is 6.82 speculation again. That was an entertaining one yesterday.
Well, if this goes on long enough, we're definitely gonna get there.
Yeah, certainly.
Well, it's only 45 minutes in and we haven't started the game proper now. Not a huge delay. I've seen bigger at lands.
One of the lands I was casting, we were running 8 hours behind schedule. We had to keep going till 4 a.m. because it had to be finished that day. That was 16 hours worth. That was a rough day.
What? How can you run 8 hours behind? What the hell happened?
Um, we had a case of players having, since it was all LAN, the LAN provided the PCs. One player was cursed. Every PC that he used blue screened and crashed. So they had to switch out his PC a grand total of 5 or maybe 6 times. There were crashes. The power went out on the LAN. It was a case of curse of the LAN. That was the Birdie LAN in Uppsala, Sweden.
Oh my god, yeah. The last player's PC is updating now. 2 minutes more at least.
What in Divinity's Edge? God damn it.
Yeah, it's like, guys, our last player's here. Wait, no, false alarm. PC updates.
Uh,
Well, but the story about the guy who was cursed, or I don't know, his touches just broke down computers. It's a sad life when you can't get along with technology. I mean, if I wouldn't be able to use my computer, I have no idea what I would be doing like all day long.
Knowing me, I would just probably sit and read. I mean, I've been reading the Dresden File books lately. They're
But
really
there's
good
only
series.
so much you can read in a day.
Yeah. I do get a little bit stir crazy without the internet. I've had cases where either my PC's been broken, I'm waiting for parts, or the net's died, and I just get a little bit stir crazy without internet sometimes. But
Well, I mean, I actually had a week in August where my computer was in the warranty. For a week, I was just reading, being on the couch, just I don't know, I was doing almost nothing. Thank God, actually, I had Oya, which has a Twitch app, so I could watch games there. But otherwise, I would have just died of boredom completely. Like 1 week without the computer, it was horrible, man.
so without my PC, or if something breaks phenomenally, I will either use one of my housemates' laptops just so I can play something like Binding of Isaac, or occasionally I will go downstairs and I will use up one of the consoles. I mean, we've got enough in the house, but console gaming versus PC gaming, I don't know. I might prefer using my PC. I used to play things on the Dreamcast ages and ages ago. The Dreamcast was actually one hell of a console. That was always good fun, but it's not aged well.
Well, to be honest, I did also finish one Final Fantasy finally, which I had started ages ago. And
Which
that was
one?
on my phone actually with an emulator, so
Which one?
Final Fantasy 5.
Okay, I'll grant you that. That's a good one. I'm not going to contest that one.
I'm almost done with 6 as well. I'm literally
Yeah,
in the
okay.
last dungeon.
If you've got 5 and 6, that's all well and good. As long as you didn't like pick the traditional favorite of everyone. As long as you didn't say 7.
Oh man, 7, that I completed ages ago, man. I've completed now 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, and 12. And almost done with 6, man. When I was younger, when I was playing most of the Final Fantasies, I had a dream to complete every single Final Fantasy out there.
10-2 isn't a game.
Well, it's pretty horrible, but it's a Final Fantasy nonetheless, man. Although, it doesn't really qualify as one because, first of all, there's no summons. Well, they weren't even called summons in Final Fantasy then, but it doesn't really matter. Because it's like, what? And all the main characters, girls, 3 girls, who dance and sing. It's like, what?
I know. 10-2 ain't a game. It really ain't. Also, apparently, some Optiv in chat is saying this caster is scary. Which one of us? Which one of us is scary?
Must be you, it must be you.
Me? Scary?
Of course.
Okay.
Your voice is what nightmares are made of.
If I can cause nightmares, then I could get behind that. I could do some evil things with that, sinister laugh included. But nonetheless,
So,
we're in all pick.
everybody
going
picked
to
up
go
the correct
ahead.
heroes. I'm happy.
Yep. We're all loading in. Everything is good to go. No more remakes. Touch wood. Let's get the show on the road, shall we?
Well, we better. That's all I can say about this, and I'm just excited to see how they're actually choosing to lane this for both teams.
Well, lane-wise, I'm thinking it's going to be an offlane Ohio, considering Ohio is the offlane specialist for Titan. We're going to see most likely a safe lane Mushi actually thinking about it, and KYXY in the mid on the Lone Druid, because then you're going to have a Lone Druid potentially up against an Ember Spirit, which that actually works mathematically in my head. Yeah, that actually works quite well. I mean, Lone Druid in a 1v1 against a melee hero, generally the Lone Druid will win, and we are seeing that as the order of business, but let's introduce the players, shall we? For Titan, we have KYXY handling the Lone Druid in the mid lane. Unorthodox, but in my mind, the right choice here. Mushi going to be in the safe lane on that Razor. Over supporting him, nearby in the jungle, will be Extinct on the Enchantress, and Skywrath Mage played by WTF. And then finally, of course, in the offlane, you do have Ohio, the offlane specialist himself.
And for Invasion, for the fellow Malaysians here, on the Radiant side, ADTR will be playing the support Silencer with OK, playing the Shadow Shaman Ling, FCFC on a farming Venomancer in the safe lane, with Ketchikimba in the mid lane Ember Spirit, and Ghost, the offlane Doombringer.
Well, the offlane Doom, I think he's not going to have a very fun time. Not up against a Razor, and he's going to realise this as soon as he sees the lane, and he might rotate into the jungle. I can't see him wanting to go to toe-to-toe with any hero on this tri-lane. I mean, you mess with WTF, you're going to get burned, especially if he can slow you up while Mushi is draining away all your damage with that static link.
By the way, I have a question. Do you know the cosmetic of the Spirit Bear that when he goes too far from the Lone Druid, so he can't actually attack anymore, he changes color? So, it's kind of a cheat, so Lone Druid actually is perfectly aware when the range actually hits. Of course,
you get the symbol above your head by standard anyway. It's not exactly a hard one to see.
But at the moment for that, it's actually for the enemy. For Invasion, they will know when the Lone Druid isn't close enough to the Spirit Bear. So it's actually something that can backfire a little bit.
I suppose, but I don't think it's something major. It's not anywhere near as bad as the Mirana arrow that you can see a mile away.
Yeah, that arrow is like, why would you use it in a competitive match? It's just, nope. But we do see Invasion already actually stacking up the small camp, the pull camp at the moment. Just want to deny some XP to Ohio, who is actually trying to manhandle ADTR a little bit, but ADTR actually went for Glaives of Wisdom straight out. Just more attack harassment.
More importantly, the reason for this is it's pure damage. Bristleback cannot reduce that with his passive. Pure damage is king against a Bristle.
Oh, but look at the rotation already from Extinct. He has 2 creeps, a troll as well as a centaur. WTF, just Concussive Shot is already skilled up as well. Could be an extremely easy kill onto any of the heroes here.
I was expecting this, but the smoke gets revealed. They hesitate for a second, and they're not going to be able to get ADTR, I don't think. In comes the Venomous Gale to try to slow this down, and I was expecting aggressive ganks, but they got caught out of position. They didn't expect the smoke to be revealed like that, and they're not going to kill anyone off the back of this one at all.
Yeah, I think it was actually okay being here, trying to pull, spotting things out. And of course, FCFC, beautiful Venomous Gale. If that hadn't actually connected on both of Enchantress's creeps as well as Enchantress and Ohio themselves, I think they would have dove it anyway. Just creeps to tank it up, would have been easy kills onto ADTR, but excellent Venomous Gale.
Well, the Gale, sure, it does no damage effectively at level 1 over time, but that's a 50% slow for 1 skill point. That is an incredibly powerful skill, and in a case where you've got a farming Venomancer, I'm expecting many points in Plague Wards, and honestly, when you're covered in that many dots, do I really need to do the whole stick of that's going to be a staggering amount of damage?
I think you do, man. I think you do. But at the moment, Extinct, they want to go again. Actually, the Thunderclap with the Concussive Shot, it lands onto ADTR. Just look at the damage output. They need a little bit more. The one more right click, can they actually get it? The slows are there. And the ADTR somehow still alive. They need a healing cell, anything, Ohio. One more Quill Spray, but can he get in? He's shackled under the tower. The Hellburst Smash is still tanking things up as well. Okay. Oh, the Ether Shock, one more right click, Ohio. He's gonna go down for the first, but if, or ADTR rather, picks it up, and WTF slowed down play boards.
This is going to be a double kill. The damage over time is there. They've got the plague debuff on them as well from the ward, but no, he actually gets the salve. I was near enough sure that was a double, but ADTR managed to get first blood, and he has no health left. Now comes in Kekik Imber, and I don't think they're going to be able to finish him off. I honestly expected WTF to die there. That was very close on his part.
Yeah, if only the Ember Spirit had boots there, would have easily gone for the kill, I think. But now, he says Staras in KYXY mid and actually doing a lot of damage here. Just Flame Guard level 3 with Searing Change.
Well, if he can kill the bear, I'll point out in the early game, well, hell, the bear in general is worth more than a hero. It's worth 300 experience and 300 gold. That's more than what you'll get for killing KYXY. So he needs to be very careful about letting that bear die.
Yeah, and he's actually sending it all the way home as well, just to regen up that way. Because he wouldn't have a resummon otherwise at the moment, since I guess KYXY might have been able to clean it up once already, but oh, he finds a haste rune. That's definitely a good one to just have in your bottle.
Well, the haste rune will open up the opportunity for ganks here, particularly if Imber decides to charge across the map. And he could easily head top lane, kill Mushi with the help of the Doom, if the Doom can get the extra points up in terms of levels. But I'm honestly surprised that Ghost stayed up on this top lane. I mean, I expected him to have a harder time, but of course the supports did rotate away, meaning it would be a 1v1 between Doom and Razor. So I suppose he can get experience without threat of dying. Now we get the haste and have a pop in the middle. In comes the rotation from the supports, and KYXY will be the victim here. Kill goes the way of Imber. It's a pretty big one as well.
Yeah, it's actually pretty huge indeed. At least he has a bear resummon when he comes back, so he can just continue farming up. And actually he brought himself a healing salve on the Spirit Bear as well. So actually some gold wasted there since he died anyway. And looking at the offlaners, comparing them, Ghost is level 4.5, has the Tranquil Boots finished now. Farming up with the Devour as Doombringers always do. And actually Ohio, a little bit ahead in XP, you will get even one more creep wave worth here. And that's a pretty nice amount of farm as well. Of course the supports just rotated away, so Bristleback, at least he's having a good enough time, and Bristleback, he really can't fall behind early because otherwise he's just not going to be tanky enough.
I'll be inclined to agree with you there, but this being Ohio on a Bristleback, we've seen him play Bristleback, I want to say, twice in the last 2 days, and both times he's gone mech, pipe, and Vanguard. He has just gone for, I have armor, I am tanky, I have resist. In the meantime, mid lane, KYXY getting dove on. He's going to get caught by the shackles, as well as the rotation from Ghost, and that'll be a second death onto KYXY, again picked up by Imber, and that is going to add up incredibly quickly if this keeps happening.
Yeah, and this time around, even if he respawns, 90 seconds still on cooldown for the Spirit Bear resummon. So he's actually probably not going to get too much of farm at all in the mid lane anymore. Because otherwise, Ember Spirit just activates Flame Guard, which is now level 4 as well, and just goes stand next to the Lone Druid.
Well, that Flame Guard will start ticking people to pieces. I mean, it's one of the best things about a Ember Spirit. You can play very aggressive with just Ember Guard.
Mushi, he's diving way too far, okay. Shackled up, level 2 shackles as well, actually longer duration. FCFC will get the slow from the, actually, Poison Nova, not enough mana for it, but Venomous Gale, it already connected, and Mushi can't chase okay down, but WTF, he comes in for the support kill, and actually Mushi is still alive, he's gonna go down one more right click, yes, FC, he gets the kill, so in the end, it is a worthy trade, but at least they get that one counter.
Well, the counter kill makes it worth it, but equally, bottom lane, you get that rotation in with the Ember Guard, and ADTR is more than enough to kill off that Bristleback. And this is the problem for this Bristleback. Right now, he doesn't have much ability to avoid this damage. He's got 2 points in Nasal Goo, he's got 3 points in Spray, and 1 point in Bristleback. He's trying to go aggressive.
Wouldn't you want to get Warpath as soon as you can? Just extra movement speed if you need to run away, and just extra physical damage and whatnot?
Generally, I would think so, yes. So it might be a case of a miss skill, but of course, it's got to be a miss skill, surely, because the extra movement speed will A, keep you more safe, and B, let you turn around potentially if you can get high stacks on someone. So I'm unsure what happened with Ohio there. We'll have to ask him between the lobbies of game 1 and 2.
Well, it's Titan's early game aggression so far hasn't really resulted in too many kills. I mean, they just got that one when Mushi was, I don't know even what Mushi was doing, to be honest, between the towers like that, but Titan extinct, he's only level 3 still, 7.5 minutes, and oh, top lane, they're gonna go for Mushi, but WTF is there, the slow actually connects on 2 heroes, okay, he's silenced up as well, he got the other shock off before, can he shackle WTF before he dies? He might if he turns it around at the right time, yes, he's buying some time, Mushi, he's gonna go down, he got doomed up as well, and WTF, he will get the counter kill, but he's gonna go down in return himself as well.
Yep, and it's a double kill for Imber once again, and the Ember Spirit in this case has picked up so many kills, 5-0 and 0 on Imber. He is going to be a driving force behind this game. He's going to be able to pick up a full drum momentarily. After the drum, we're looking just for that battle fury so he can start cleaving everyone to pieces. And at this rate of farm, he's going to have that battle fury before 15 minutes after a drum, in my mind, if he keeps getting kills like this. Now we get the initiation, though. Ohio's going to be the victim. And now in comes the Ember Guard. He's just going to start trying to burn everyone, but this is too many TPs. They want to retreat from this, but Silencer will still take a fall. Now can they catch the Venomancer? Can FC get away? I think he should be able to. They don't have enough lockdown or CC. As I said in the draft, they lack stuns. They have slows, sure, but if the target can get out of range of those slows, there's no way that they can be caught anymore.
Yeah, and actually in the meantime as well, KYXY, he actually did a lot of damage to the mid tier 1 tower. It's only down to 400 HP now. So, once they leave Lone Druid alone once again in the mid lane like that, this tower will 100% fall, I think. So Titan actually, at least getting some pressure across the rest of the map at the moment, but Ketchik, he is still hungry for one. He has a haste run as well. They want to go for Mushi. Will they dive that deep though? I guess they will. Remnants coming out. Searing Chains connect. Venomous Gate to slow him down. Poison Nova as well, just in case, and Mushi will. No escape in this. Concussive Shot won't do anything to Ketchik. He has the haste run after all. Actually, Silence is still on the run. Oh man, he's gonna die here. One more right click. No, the bottles. Whew, man, Static Link, so strong.
Yeah, the Static Link was draining away all of Imba's damage, and as you say, that was very close. But right now, if we take a look at the mid lane, you've got the Lone Druid pushing up as much as possible. That Lone Druid could kill anyone solo if he can just get a good entangle, but now ADTR will rotate in, and that forces the silence onto KYXY. He doesn't really want to risk hanging around, and do you honestly blame him?
No, I do not, and man, it's so hard to actually bring down a Lone Druid when he's actually in the true form. Although this true form is the ugliest customization I have ever seen in Dota. I mean, I shiver every time I look at it.
I can go one better. Cat Ear Drow. I don't really need to say anything else. Why is that in the game?
I'm not too sure if I've even seen it, to be honest.
I just don't know. But as we stand right now, we do have an invisibility rune active for the Ember Spirit, and Ember wants to fight. He's been picking up kills left, right, and center. Has his drum now. I'm reckoning we're going to get a 15-minute Battle Fury if he can keep up this kill pace, but that's a big if. He's not going to get anything off the back of the Invis rune, unfortunately, but equally, for Invasion, they've just picked up their first Midas. They now have a Midas on Ghost. Midas Doom. He's got his Doom. He's got max points up in Devour. He's going to start coming online very damn quick. He's got Tranquil Boots as well, so he's going for that cheaper, more efficient option in terms of boots at least, but still going to be very rough. Top lane, though, does not matter. FCFC going to try to TP out. Can he escape this one? They've got no way of stopping the TP, or do they? Yes, they do. They have the Dark Troll Warlord, and relying on Extinct there, but if he didn't have that creep, he would have just escaped, hands down.
Yeah, it was a really nice idea by Venomancer. I mean, just taking advantage of what Titan lacks, and like, see, none of their heroes actually have stuns. Yes, Lone Druid Spirit Bearer can get the Entangling Claws if he's lucky, and maybe Extinct, he's always gonna have to carry the Dark Troll Summoner around now.
Pretty much. They pretty much require the Dark Troll Warlord or the Centaur Conqueror. They need a stun of some description, but meantime, bot lane, Mass Serpent will be commit. Mushi trying to defend this, but he's just going to get last word, and at this point in, Shadow Shaman picks up the tower. Ohio's going to rotate in, Mushi's here, WTF is here. They're fighting in the ward, sure, but they're going to be cleaned up and farmed for gold, and I can't see any potential for kills on this bottom lane. It's just going to be a case of everyone wants to stand down and escape.
Yeah, actually, all in all, Titan, they came out ahead because actually Mass Serpent Wars, they give around 350 gold average if you kill all of them. So they got the tier 1 tower top lane, so it was a tier 1 for tier 1 pot. Mass Serpent Wars also got farmed up. Of course, in the meantime, the Ember Spirit did put some pretty nice pressure on the tier 1 tower mid as well, so both mid tier 1s are rather low.
Yeah, I think the next brawl will be mid lane, just for that sole purpose. Getting an extra tower, getting an objective, just going to pan out so nicely. But we now have another haste rune for Ember. He's been finding all the haste runes, and it's probably one of the better runes on the Ember, with the sheer exception of DD and with high points of Sleight of Fist. But haste rune lets him get in, get on top of targets with that Ember Guard. And the Ember Guard, sure, 500 damage absorb, but more importantly, I believe it's 80 damage a second. 60 damage a second, but still, that ticks down incredibly fast. That's just slightly more than a Radiance, and it really does pay off.
But look at this now, Medallion of Courage, level 2 into Vicious Nasal Goo as well. This Roshan is going to be an extremely fast one in Invasion. Doesn't look like they have any idea this is going on. They're actually grouping up top lane instead.
Well, it's going to be a free Roshan in that case for Titan. Pings come out now, but it's a little bit too late. The Roshan is falling too quickly. This is, of course, with 4 stacks of the Vicious Nasal Goo, which is at level 2, so it's only a grand total of 1 negative armor per stack. And I would not be surprised to see the 3rd point in Vicious Nasal Goo for Ohio with his next level, just because of the extra plus 1 negative armor per stack.
It's definitely good, the upgrade from level 2 to 3. Of course, he probably wants to max out Bristleback now. He has the mech finished as well, but he just wants to be able to stand in the front lines if it's actually required of him. Doombringer picks up a Blink Dagger now. FC, Venom scale up onto, I think, 2 heroes and the Spirit Bear, although I don't think it will really stop the push.
No, this is a death ball starting to form, but we do have many TPs coming in to defend this. FCFC wants to engage this one. In comes the Mass Serpent Woods, straight into Ohio, as well as the Global Silence. They get the poison over. Now in comes Imber. What can they find? They're going to go straight into Ohio. Ghost is here as well. Will clean up the Bristleback, and now you've got Imber. He wants to hunt. He has that hasten, so he's going to get out, break that damage drain from the static link, and just come back in. He wants to kill Mushi once more, and he's not going to escape this one. Down goes Mushi, forcing the Aegis. They're probably going to fight him again. They're setting up for it. Either Storm's going to tick down a little bit. It does persist through death, and Mushi gets shackled, gets caught a second time. In comes the Sleight of Fist, looking for the Lone Druid, but not going to catch him. In the meantime, Mushi will fall. They're going to find the bear, though. That bear's 300 extra golden experience, the way of, I believe, the Ember Spirit as well. It was killed by Ember. So a very big advantage starting to form there. 14 minutes in, he's got 2k gold. What's flying out to him now? He's got the Claymore, starting to build up that Battle Fury.
Well, it's safe to say that fight went heavily in the favor of Invasion. They got the tier 1 tower top lane first. So tier 1 towers were once again traded, but they got the Aegis as well as a kill on top of that onto the Bristleback and the Spirit Bear, which is another 300 gold. And actually with this, FCFC has his own mech finish, so both teams will have the burst heal to deal with. And that Global Silence was pretty nicely timed, just as they went in themselves. Maybe the Doom was a little bit wasted on the Bristleback, because man, he was stuck there anyway between 5 enemy heroes and everybody else was running away from Titan, but all in all, it ended so damn well for Invasion.
Well, at the point, the Doom couldn't get any range to put the Doom on anyone else. But speaking of catching someone out, they're fighting down everyone. Extinct's here, but WTF drops a Mr. Flare, doesn't get anyone, but missed the Sleight of Fist, does get the kill. Wicked 6-3 now up for Imber, and this fight could just be a turnaround. We have Doom available in 7 seconds. ADTR has rotated in as well. They've got to deal with the bear, sure, but equally, if you take a look at the backline, who's here for Titan? They've got Ohio, they've got KOXY, Mushi, and Extinct. This could be a good fight for Titan, but they need to take it with great care, because Doom is now available, and this next fight is going to just be a brawl.
Yeah, and actually Ember Spirit just went back home to reach up as well, but he left a remnant behind. Doom is available for Ghost at the moment. And actually, one thing we haven't even discussed or talked about is, when you last word the Spirit Bear, after last word expires, it's going to be a 100% disarm, because it's not like he can cast anything.
No, that's a very true point. It's why the Silencer is so good against heroes like Viper as well. Viper has no way of removing it outside of Viper Strike, and the Spirit Bear can't remove it. It's one of the best things about Silencer. He is a brilliant counterpick in that respect, in that sense. But now comes the Mass Serpent Woods. It's going to be a case of a tier 2 push coming out of Invasion. But can Titan hold? That's the question. Sleight of Fist is going to be thrown around as well as the Searing Chains, but do we have anyone coming in to flank from the side? We may do. You've got Extinct nearby, but all of the Mass Serpent Woods are being cleaned up. They may decide to reset and push this again once they have Mass Serpent Woods, but you've still got Invasion poking and prodding. They're keeping throwing that Sleight of Fist, and that Sleight of Fist is the nastiest thing for Invasion right now outside of the Global Silencer ulti.
Yeah, I mean, and actually everybody has their ultimates apart from the Mass Serpent Wars and OK. So Invasion, at least they don't seem to be letting up on the pressure at the moment. But if the Global Silence is not perfect at the moment, if Extinct, or not Extinct, Mushi gets his spells off the static link and they have Storm before, I think they have what it takes to possibly take a fight at the moment, but Venom Scale misses from Venomancer.
The last word is actually removed apparently by the Return, which surprises me because Return has no mana cost. I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, since I was under the impression of you needed a mana cost to remove the last word.
Well, I guess it is a spell, so I mean, but if it's actually in the middle of a fight, then the Spirit Bear will actually be right-clicking and probably not going to get returned like that. So in a fight, when it's actually necessary to disarm the Spirit Bear, it will most likely connect.
I would completely agree, especially if it's being harassed and it won't be able to return. But in general, it does surprise me. I didn't think you would be able to remove it, last word with that. But from where we stand, we do see the damage ball starting to mass from Titan. They may want to push down this bottom lane themselves. This is going to be a hard-fought fight. They get the Venom Scale onto Ohio and Mushi. This fight's going to go so sideways. Global Silencer ult comes in. Doom thrown on Ohio as well, disabling that damage reduction. And Mushi cannot escape either. That's 2 easy kills the way of FZ.
Man, what an excellent fight it was for Invasion. Once again, yes, they use Global Silence, but I have the Storm on cooldown now on Razor. And this should result in an easy tier 2 tower for them as well. And actually looking at the graphs 18 minutes in now, it's not as high, but about a 5k gold lead with this tower, going for 6k at least for Invasion. XP actually also about 5,000. So they are looking extremely good, especially Ketchikimba. I mean, yes, he doesn't have too many last hits because he's been just farming heads instead of creeps. But he's still only like 150 gold away from getting his Battle Fury finished.
As soon as that Battle Fury is online, this is going to become oh so much more of a problem for Titan. But you saw how easily Invasion just walked in and killed the two big cores of Titan. Sure, that Lone Druid is worth more for now, but the Lone Druid is considerably far easier to kill, considering he has no items on his hero, effectively. It's all on the bear. But they kill Bristleback without breaking a sweat, as well as Mushi.
Yeah, it's main Bristleback. He only has 1000 HP at the moment. Doesn't even have the maxed out Bristleback. And of course, when you're doomed, you can't even use the mech to get a little bit of extra armor, get the burst heal going. But, I mean, KOXY working towards his Radiance, about 1000 away from that recipe. So he's actually considering how it started for him, that he died twice on the lane. He's not doing all that bad.
No, he's not. He's doing far better than I honestly expected. But
but speaking of it, he might be in trouble now.
Haste Rune, Imber again, and he gets the Searing Chains on 2. You've also got Ghost here. Level Death to throw just for that mini stun. Can KOXY escape this one? I don't think he can, especially with another Remnant. 2 more right clicks will spell his doom. And Imber picks up the 3rd kill in a row on Lone Druid.
He's gonna go for the WTF as well. Searing Change. Yes, they cancel the TP. 1 right click. Holy crap. Godlike streak for Ember. 19 minutes in. This can't be good for Titan.
No, it's not. And that's his 3rd double kill as well. Imber has found all of the gold that he can possibly want. He's now got his cleave. We're looking for potentially crit next or a BKB. And honestly, Imber doesn't have much to fear in terms of BKB requiring defense. But from where we sit, certainly Imber can go for a crit. We could look for other options here. Skadi, we've seen Skadi's picked up on Ember fairly often recently, just for the extra slow across the entire enemy team. It's a potent item, but what other options do we have available? I mean, we do have the Shivas now up for Doom as well. It's another item that's going to help out in terms of chasing power, in terms of getting in the enemy's face, and removing the armor hole of Ghost as well.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the Doom will actually go for the Aura kind of build, go for AC next. AC, of course, will be extremely good in keeping themselves alive against the physical damage of Titan. As well as speed up the push, speed up the damage, or boost the damage of Ember Spirit, as well as even Ghost himself, to be honest, to some degree. But speaking of the Ember Spirit items, like any that you mentioned, he can definitely go for. I actually wouldn't mind the Eye of Sky at all, just to make sure that Razor actually can't outrun them.
I'd completely agree with that. The Eye Skadi is the one that immediately sits in my mind. Sure, crit would be nice, but a guaranteed slow.
The Desolator, I wouldn't mind either, because it's just a really nice aggressive pickup. But I think Desolator is probably the last item he's going to go for at the moment.
I'd be inclined to agree. And one curious thing we saw there out of Ghost, he saw a Alpha Wolf, a Direwolf Alpha in the jungle, and decided, no, I prefer my Speed Aura from the pack leader, which surprises me. And Ohio now gets caught out by that Searing Chains. He could potentially go down here. Last word's thrown on him as well. Equally, though, the tower is falling. The Mass Serpent Wards were deployed, and this is a DD Ember. You can't really walk in and defend a tower versus a DD Ember Spirit, because you'll just get cleaved to death.
Well, I just have to say that this Ember Spirit Gechikima, how many good runes has he got in this game? He's like at least 4 haste runes. This double damage now as well.
This DD, he had an Invis rune. He's had pretty much pick of the litter. And Ember follows the ABC rule of Ember Spirit. Always be cleaving.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. And he's up to another 2000 gold all of a sudden at the moment as well. And of course, the Battle Fury, and well, that's Crystal is finished now.
Well, from where we sit, he's now got crit. It all gets more difficult here for Titan, and you've got to consider with crit now online, do they have any recourse to stop this? WTF will melt, so will Extinct, even with those points up in Untouchable. This is going to be a big problem, and we can see that Death Ball starting to form from Invasion on this bottom lane. Ember Remnants starting to fly around as well. They're setting up for this. They want to push in, maybe go for the tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, they have a crazy amount of items. I mean, they have a gem even.
Oh, here we go. Shiva's Guard to start this fight. Global Silence as well. WTF melts. Extinct goes down as well. They need to get out of there. Mushi and Ohio need to evacuate, but Doom's thrown on Ohio. And now you've got Imber in the middle of the mix. He's going to throw a Searing Chains any second, and they're all stuck. They're not escaping this. The cleaver's there, and a double kill beyond godlike the way of Invasion.
Holy crap, man. Invasion coming out. All guns blazing in this game. 23-minute GG against Titan. They just got it from the get-go. Titan, they were really reliant on just the Enchantress, Skyrim Mage early rotations working out. But the first one kind of failing for them, and them even giving away a couple of counter kills there. Just overall, Invasion extremely well played.
I would completely agree. That was a show of force. That was all it was. It was just a show of absolute force. Invasion proving they are not to be underestimated, even by a lineup as experienced as Titan. And honestly, I can't wait for game number 2.
Yes, guys, and neither can I, and probably neither can any of you. So that's where we are heading at the moment, into lobby of game number 2. Should hopefully start within the next couple of minutes. And of course, guys, if you liked what we did, be sure to drop a follow on this channel, as well as HeflaTV 2 and HeflaMoke, the English channels for Dota, for our coverage. And of course, check out our social media to know when we're going live, with what games, on what channels. It is HeflaTV for both Facebook, as well as Twitter. And of course, our YouTube is youtube.com/HeflaMoke. This VOD, as well as the next ones, will be uploaded straight after the games. So should be available like 15-20 minutes after the games when the processing is actually finished. But man, what an awesome game. And of course, you can always follow the casters at Coucher for me, at Mr_Blackadder. You can see them in the title of the stream as well. So guys, see you in game 2.